on a kind of pick-up, so I know you can rely on the guy to bang in 20-25 goals a season. So I'm not really concerned too much about that. Strikers tend to be like that. Like, they're either good or they're kind of mediocre. And again, I think he'll come good. And of course, Chris Commons, I thought he'd done really well on it again. I think he's going to have a cracking season like his first season. He was quiet last year, but I think Chrissy Commons is going to be a star player for us this year. I've no doubt about that at all. Well, the wee run out for Paddy McCourt late on, I can't actually remember who the subs were. Not very professional, I know, but there you go. For what I've seen of Paddy, he's going to be a bit part player again this season. He's still at the club. He probably thought he wasn't going to still be at the club. He is still at the club, and I'm sure he can do a job. He can come in games or wee cameos and maybe turn the game for us at certain periods. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, as far as the result goes, 2-1, I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been a defeat or a draw. I mean, we're winning the game. I think we can score earlier. Obviously, I think they'll score as well. I'm going to go for a 1-1 over there. Obviously, that'll put us through into the next round. Right, we're going to have another wee bit of music here. I'll finish off this segment. When I come back, we'll probably move on to my thoughts on the pre-season. Well, I was going to talk about the pre-season. I might just... It wasn't that great, let's be honest. We only had the one victory and a draw against Milan. I was going to talk about that, but I think we'll just move on and talk about the up-and-coming game on Saturday against Aberdeen in their league opener. And we'll talk about that in a wee minute.
With a 4-leaf clover on my breast, and the green and white upon my chest, it's such a joy for us to see, 'cause they play football the Celtic way. It's been 10 years, long time indeed. We stood with pride and took defeat. Our beloved team, our ancient ground, has been rebuilt, a club reborn, with a 4-leaf clover on my breast, and the green and white upon my chest. It's such a joy for us to see, how they play football the Celtic way. He rode the winds of change, and the things he brought will long remain. A phoenix rising, a house of steel, and 60,000 Celtic flames, with a 4-leaf clover on my breast, and the green and white upon my chest. It's such a joy for us to see, for they play football the Celtic way. The work is done and the stage is set. The Celtic dream can now be met. In a sea of green, we're here today to sit and watch the champions play. With a 4-leaf clover on my breast, and the green and white upon my chest. It's such a joy for us to see, for they play football the Celtic way. With a 4-leaf clover on my breast, and the green and white upon my chest. It's such a joy for us to see, for they play football football, the Celtic way.
Hello, folks, welcome back. Okay, just before the wee break there with the music and that, I was talking about our game against Aberdeen coming up on Saturday, where we get the flag, the champions obviously, 2011-12. I think this season 2012-13 is going to be very interesting. Obviously, the team with no name, no been there anywhere, and no been there for quite some time. I think our main challengers going forward are probably going to be Aberdeen and Hearts, possibly Dundee United. I actually believe it's not going to be as straightforward as everybody seems to think now that the team with no name isn't here anymore. I think it's going to be a really good season, and I don't think Celtic are going to just cakewalk the league like everybody seems to think. I think it's going to go, and it's going to be an entertaining season with a lot of good football, and I can see it going to the last weeks of the season. I believe that we'll win it, of course. Obviously, I'm going to say that being a Celtic fan, but to be honest, if we were to go through this season playing good football, and it was a good season, and it came to the last day of the season, and it was us in Aberdeen or us in Hearts or whatever, and it was a case of a last day decider, and we lost it on a last day decider, maybe with a pint or whatever, to an Aberdeen or a Hearts or a Dundee United as our main challenger, and they won the league. I wouldn't be too concerned. I mean, obviously I want to win fucking every title that Celtic can get, every cup, but you know, times have changed. Great things happen. We've got rid of a fucking disease that had afflicted the Scottish nation for 140 years. The team with no name were evicted, kicked out of the league, and demoted down to the third division. A great victory for all the Scottish clubs. There were 42, well, 35 of them, less than 7 that voted for them. And the people of Scotland as well. And it largely was down to a lot of hard work on groups and forums. Obviously, people doing podcasts and stuff, word of mouth, pushing for this. Because if I don't think, without the media and all that, and the internet media and the internet bampots as we're called, it's possible that they could have survived, you know, and that would have been a travesty. But right, anyway, okay, I'm going to move on to who I think what the team will be on Saturday for the game, and my prediction on the scoreline. Okay, obviously we're going to have Forrest in goals, or Foster, whatever you want to call him. I'll have Easy Gary and Matthews as our wing backs, and obviously we've not got a centre half signed up yet, so, and I don't know what the situation we're on yet is, if he's fit or not. So I'm thinking it's possibly going to be Wanyama and Mulgrew as our two centre halves for the time being. I'd be quite happy with that. It sounds like quite a solid back four. In midfield, he'll go with Sammy, young Forrester, and probably Ledley and Brun. Again, probably much the same as tonight. Commons might miss out. I think he could possibly go on the bench. And if obviously Stokes is fit, he'll be up front with Hoops. The bench, obviously, I would imagine it'll be Commons, Twardick, Paddy McCourt. I'd probably stick somebody like the young laddie on there, Tony Watt as well. scoreline wise, I'm thinking it's going to be a tight game, but I think it's going to be a high scoring game for the first game of the season. I remember a few years back we had one against Motherwell in the first game, and it was 4-3. It was a right exciting game. So I'm going to opt for a 3-2 to Celtic, and a tight game that's going to have a big finish. Probably 2-2 going into the last 5 minutes, and Celtic will get one of their famous last-minute goals. I'd love to have a season where we're banging in late goals like we used to do. And if you mind back to guys like the season from McAvenny and McGarvey and guys like that were there, and McCluskey, and we were banging in goals like virtually on the fucking final whistle, and it was exciting. I can see it being a 3-2, and I can see it being a really good game for an opener. And of course we get the title, we get the flag unfurled as well, because we're the champions. Anyway, I'm going to play another wee bit of music, and I'll come back in a minute. And we'll talk about transfers. I don't think there's much to actually talk about with that, but we'll do a wee segment on that. See you in a minute.
We have lost a great president, a great American, and a great man. And I have lost a dear friend.
Oh, Hampden in the sun, Celtic 7 and the Rangers 1. All my days I will sing in praise of the Celtic team that played that day. Sammy Wilson put the Celtic one up in the final of the Scottish League Cup, and it was only Neely Mockin's due when he nipped in and made it two. We sing, oh, Hampden in the sun, Celtic 7 and the Rangers 1. All my days I will sing in praise of the Celtic team that played that day. Geordie Nevin was all at sea. He couldn't stop McPhail from making it 3. And then young Billy, sure he made it 4. The Celts were heading for a record score. We sang, oh, Hampden in the sun, Celtic 7 and the Rangers 1. All my days I will sing in praise of the Celtic team that played that day. Geordie Nevin with a desperate dive, he couldn't stop Mockin from making it 5. And then young Billy with a superb flick, sure he completed a great hat-trick. We sing, oh, Hampden in the sun, Celtic 7 and the Rangers 1. All my days I will sing in praise of the Celtic team that played that day. Then to make the Rangers sick, Fernie made it 7 with a penalty kick. And Charlie Tully, sure he's on the ball, he's taken the right out of Ian McCall. We sing, oh, Hampden in the sun, Celtic 7 and the Rangers 1. All my days I will sing in praise of the Celtic team that played that day. We sing, oh, Hampden in the sun, Celtic 7 and the Rangers 1. All my days I will sing in praise of the Celtic team that played that day.
Oh, we stretch there, man. Right, anyway, alright, back to the business in hand, right. I was talking about transfers there, It doesn't look